Hello, I'm Nathan, and today I'll be ranking the first 22 seasons of Survivor. I've seen the first few episodes of South Pacific, but I can't really make a huge uh, rating of it yet. And this is completely my opinion. There are some picks on here that I know may not get the best response, but it's just my opinion, so don't take it seriously. So the absolute worst Survivor season, in my opinion, is gotta be Thailand. I just hate it. I hate Gandhi. I hate Rob. The entire cast is just terrible. The whole incident that occurs, I just did not want to watch that season, and I hope that it stays at the bottom forever. I never want to see a Survivor season as bad as that again. Now the winner did play a strong game, and I had fun seeing that. Like, it was just kind of a new approach. Rich from Borneo had his alliance, and Tina had her Onion alliance from the Australian outback, but no one ever controlled the game as much as the winner did up to that point. So points for that, but points for literally nothing else. That season was terrible. Burn it with fire. So number 21 out of 22 would be Survivor Redemption Island. For me, it's just, you could see the winner coming from a mile away. It's just bad. Philip annoyed me to death, and the Zapatera pagonging, it was just way too predictable for a season. It made it not fun at all, and it just didn't click for me, and that's why I have it only second to Thailand. Props to beating Thailand, but it's not a high bar. But yeah, it's just a bad season. My third least favorite season has got to be Samoa, just because it was just the Russell show. That's all it was. I just was basically watching Russell episode after episode, and we barely saw any of the winner. And I was like, is this really Survivor, or is it just one player? I just didn't really like it. I want to see more action. Even Shambo, who got the next most amount of screen time. Really, couldn't you have picked a better character to have done that for? There were good casting finds there. It's just they completely purpled Brett, and it was just Russell. That's all it was. So my 19th favorite season that I've watched would have to be Survivor Fiji season 14. It had a couple of good casting finds, but the pre-jury was just way too forgettable, and it just didn't really click for me. They tried a lot of things, and some of those things would work, including the modern iteration of the immunity idol. But it just, a lot of it just didn't really click for me. All those series of twists that knocked out Michelle, and Gary quitting, I wasn't too big a fan of, and the haves versus have-nots thing just didn't work really, and it just wasn't just wasn't great. There are a lot of seasons I prefer to watch to it. It just wasn't great. That's as simple as that. Now, a lot of people might be pretty surprised that I waited this long to bring it up, but the wait's over. Here it is. My 18th favorite season is Survivor Nicaragua. I think, honestly, in it, just I was actually okay with the season. And I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy with me for saying this, but just the whole Nayanka and Purple Kelly quitting thing, I actually was happy about that, because A, it got rid of Nayanka, and B, it really threw a wrench into one of the players' games, and it was just really interesting to see how they recovered, and it kind of changed it from, Sash being on the rebound to Sash being the swing vote. And that just kind of set up the rest of the season. I thought it was pretty good. And I just thought it was an entertaining season. Sure, there were players I despise, but Holly I absolutely adored. Her whole face turn, that was amazing to watch. And I just thought it wasn't a terrible season. Now, again, it is pretty low on my list, but that's just because the unlikable characters just drag it down too far. But don't get me wrong. I like the season. It's just below 17 others, so it's not like I like it. I just like it. Okay, so my next least favorite season, it would be number 17 out of 22 is Survivor Vanuatu. Mostly because of the pre-merge, it just how, like, it took me, like, the whole pre-merge to figure out who was who. They all looked the same for a bit, and, just a lot of players were, kinda skipped upon, and the post-merge was amazing. I mean, I love the post-merge, but the pre-merge just drags it down a bit, and I mean, like, the post-merge is why it's as high as it is, but, other than that, not a lot to say about it. It's just, like, pre-merge is bad, post-merge is good, and this is where it stands. So coming in at 16th place, we have Survivor All-Stars, and I liked a lot of the gameplay in it, but, I just like, all the players you care about go out early, and then by the time, like, you get to the merge, it's, like, all these people that you've seen for a little bit, but they weren't really that memorable, and they're just kinda like, "Oh, okay, then I guess we just picked off everyone I ever liked." So but, I mean, it was interesting to see those players develop, and then that whole, like, incident, I mean, that drags it down a bit too, but and the All-Stars egos, that was a big killer for its rankings, but all in all, I actually found it pretty entertaining and a bit nostalgic to see a lot of my favorite players back, and, I don't know. I just liked it in general. There were just a couple of things that had to bring it down, but, that's why it's sitting at number 16 out of 22, so okay, this is definitely gonna make a few people mad, but, actually, I made this change last second. This was originally gonna be my number 16, and All-Stars was gonna be 15, but I was like, "Meh, let's just, put this one above. I think it's a bit better." So, my 15th place out of 22 is Survivor: The Amazon. I mean, I liked it in general. It's just, like, as a big Survivor fan, I was, like, got very, very invested into a lot of the seasons, and there were just a lot of good things that happened. I mean, I just was very invested in probably, like, the top 11 or 12 of these, and, the Amazon just didn't really do it for me as much. I mean, it was a good season. The post-merge is above average, and a lot of the players are pretty interesting. I'd like to see more of them back, but, all in all, I'd just say it didn't really hook me as much as some of the others, and it's a decent season, but I just don't really consider it to be great, if you know what I mean. So, no diss to Amazon, but they still reached number 15, so. Okay, so my number 14th place season is Survivor Guatemala Season 11. Now, I really like this season, but it's like the definition of good, not great. There were a lot of good things that happened, but nothing earth-shattering besides the immunity idol. The winner had a very interesting path to victory. I was excited to see those returning players, and it just was a good season. But the point is, it's not great, so it didn't have any like huge moments. So that's why it's not as high as some of the others. But I still really like this season. So my 13th favorite season is Survivor Marquesas, season 4. And I really like the winner's game and just the whole like arc of the story and the story arc and in the merge, like just how it went. And I thought it was a very interesting season to watch. But again, kind of like Guatemala, it was a good, not great season. It had a lot of pretty significant moments that were pretty cool to watch. But there wasn't like any huge moments that made it stand out among the rest. Um, but I would definitely recommend this season as one of the first you watch. I mean, not just because of, precedential order, but sorry, chronological order. But it's just a great season to see like a lot of strategy develop. But then again, it's like it's good, but it's not great. So rounding out the bottom 11 is, and I'm sure a lot of people expect to see this a lot sooner in the video, but my number 12 is going to be Survivor Gabon, which, I mean, I know a lot of people don't really like it for, its lack of strategy. And, I mean, personally, I did get really tired of Sugar later in the game not making any strategic decisions, of ruling just by emotions. But, I just thought it was a very fun season to watch, and, I liked a lot of the casts. I mean, the fall of Coda was pretty interesting to see, and, I just found it a fun season, so I mean, of course, because of the gameplay, it's not going to make the top 11, but I mean, that doesn't stop it from being a pretty fun season to watch. And so that's why it's at number 12. On the top half, and another pick that might surprise some people, but my number 11 is Token Sheens because, I mean, I found it a very fun cast. I like the cast a lot, but the gameplay, I mean, this is kind of contradictory to my statement about Gabon just now, but just the gameplay didn't do it for me. I mean, Gabon I prefer because it's like erratic gameplay. It was kind of fun to watch that way. But Token Sheens, it was just kind of infuriating and just see Timbira fall apart the way they did. But I mean, strategy, there were a couple of good players that made the most. There were a couple of new approaches to it that were pretty interesting, and it made it for a fun season. So that's why I keep it in the top 11. But again, it's not. I don't think I like it as much as a lot of other people do. But it's a good season, so it's in the top 11. Okay, for my 10th place season, I think this is going to be the second last one where people are like, why did you put it that high? But my 10th favorite season is Survivor Africa. And this I just love the cast, the setting's unique, and I just found it a good season. Now, since it's pretty early and the strategy isn't like hugely developed, that has some minor drawbacks, but it introduced us to the tribe swap, casting gems like Ethan, Lex, and Tom, T-Bird as well. I'd love to see a return. And I just really enjoyed the season. I know like the location did have cons too. I mean the cast was very battered a lot of the time. And but still I just really liked this season. Ninth favorite Survivor season is where it all began, Survivor Borneo. And I like this season a lot. I mean, the gameplay again, it is like it's just the first season, so it's very basic compared to today. But the cast was just very fun. The approach was different and made it for a very, very unique season of Survivor just because unlike Gabon where it seemed like no one knew the rules, and Borneo no one actually knew like how it could be played. But it was just a very, very fun season, and like it introduced us to a lot of Survivor concepts, including alliances and pagongings, and the Pagong tribe for that matter. And casting gems were there. I mean, it was just a very fun season to watch, and we'll never get anything like it again, really. Which is just points for uniqueness. But yeah, just a very good season, and so that's why it's number 9. So this one, like the Amazon and All Stars, moved down at the last second. But my number 8th favorite season is Survivor the Australian Outback, because in season 2, so you can kind of see like where they take the original strategy from season 1 and they build on that, and it's more people using it, so it's like more of like an actual competition this time. Like there are genuinely different people trying to like create alliances, and it again just a great cast. Half of them have returned, and it was just another fun season to watch. Introduced us to many Survivor legends all in the same season. I mean, like introducing us to Tina, Colby, Jerry, Amber, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck in the same season. And you can even include Scoopin and Kimmy, and let's even add in Keith. Keith was fun, but it was just such a great season for casting, and you get to see like for the first time the gameplay being utilized by multiple people, and it just was a fun season to watch. Period. I mean, again, nothing really earth-shattering happened here with this strategy, except for maybe an Onion Alliance. But I mean, I would definitely recommend watching this season if you don't want, as a new viewer, if you don't want to see like all the ineptness of Borneo, because you see like strategy being used for, commonly for the first time, and it just makes for a very fun viewing experience. At number 7, I have Survivor Season 7, Pearl Islands. Now, it is a very, very good season. It introduced us to several legends, much like the Australian Outback. But the mid-season twist, the Outcast twist, really didn't click for me. I mean, I know it was a pretty bad twist, and it brings it down a little bit. And it wasn't, like, as earth-shattering in strategy as some of the other seasons higher up. But, I mean, I just liked the season a lot. It was very fun to watch. I mean, it like hooks you right at the beginning and it never lets go. That's just the type of season that it is. And I would definitely recommend watching the season. I'd say it's like the first truly great Survivor season. And I'd say all of these top 7 are truly great Survivor seasons. So, yep. It's a shame Pearl Islands had to be at the bottom, but I mean, but it's still a very good season. Don't get me wrong. I would recommend this season. This is a pick that's probably not going to be the best received. Um, a lot of people would probably think it should go quite a bit higher than number 6. But my number 6 out of 22 seasons is Survivor Micronesia Fans versus Favorites. I mean, again, I like this season a lot, and I'd say like the pre-merge to me was above average. I mean, like I know a lot of people would see the pre-merge as very good, like as great, but I mean the pre-merge to me was just above average. It was the post-merge that was just unbelievable, and for that reason, since it wasn't as consistently good as some of the others, I have it at 6. But I still just love this season. It's just like kind of the post merge that carries a lot of it, in my opinion. And that's what most people remember. But nevertheless, it is a very good season, and I would recommend watching it. Okay, final 5, finale time. So my number 5 season is going to be, and it's the other one, like which I mentioned in my Africa segment, that it's like the other one that people might be surprised that I had it as high as it is. But my number 5 favorite season is Panama. Just the Kasaya tribe got me every time. I loved it. I loved the pre-merge, and there were just so many great scenes in that season. Like touchy subjects, the 3-2-1 vote, the fire making challenge even was pretty fun to see how they prepared for that. How Terry kept beating Kasaya, and they got increasingly frustrated. I mean, Shane threatening to murder Courtney, and Courtney getting offended because he insulted her apartment. I mean, there's just so many great moments in the season. Even the twist to it, actually both twists, both the tribe twist and the island twist, were both very, very good. And I just really like the season all in all. It gave us some great casting finds. And the only reason it's not in the top 4 is because it's not like, as earth shattering as some of the others, but I can guarantee a good time if you watch the season. It's amazing. My number 4 favorite season, again, people might be surprised in how high I'm putting it, but my 4th favorite season is Survivor Palau. I just love I mean, like, I know it might have been a bit boring to see Oolong get picked off one after one after one in the pre-merge. It's a pre-merge pagonging, new longing. But anyway, it was just kind of fun to see it. It was a very fun cast, and the winner played a very strong game. It was fun to see the last member of Oolong play, and the strategy was decent in it, and it was just another very, very good season. And I don't know, I just liked it a lot. I mean, it technically was the first instance of the island twist used in Panama, which I just mentioned. And I'd say I guess it's the second truly great season after Pearl Islands. And upon watching it, it was my favorite season at the time. So Palau is a very good season. Okay, for the final 3. So, my third favorite Survivor season of all time that I've watched. Of course, I haven't seen the last like 19 seasons. But anyway, my third favorite Survivor season of all time is Survivor Cook Island season 13. Now, a lot of people, like they think that it has a very iconic cast and the rest of the cast is just kind of, there. But I thought it was a great cast all around because, I mean, you had legends like Parvati, Penner, Yule, Ozzy, and even Candace. But I mean, a lot of the pre-merge was fun to watch. I mean, I really liked watching Jenny, Christina, and Cowboy in particular. And I just thought it was a great season. And of course, there was the whole Billy Candace thing. And I mean, the original season twist, the race wars was pretty not thought out, but it was just a very good season. It brought some diversity to it, and it was just a very, very good season. I mean, the whole comeback story from the final 12 onwards, like the underdog story, was very, very compelling and fun to watch. And I just found it a great season. So missed on the top spot by only 2, but it's a very, very good season, and I would definitely recommend it. So my second favorite Survivor season of all time is Survivor season 15 China. The casting was great. Both tribes, I mean, Fei Long tribe had legends and a couple of one-liner machines, and it was just really fun to watch them. I mean, the character was huge, and John Who was also a great group of people to watch. I mean, I had a very, very good time watching this season, and there were a couple new strategy takes. I mean, I really wish the winner had returned, and even like the least flavorful character on Fei Long returned 2 more times and became a Survivor legend. So that just goes to show how good the cast is. And I mean, even Chicken's parting words, that was amazing. PG I found very fun to watch. I mean, the whole John Who getting picked off. I mean, I know Pagani's aren't usually fun to watch, but I mean, this one actually was. Because, like, you could see PG and Eric fighting for it a lot, and Fei Long just kind of turning on their own a couple times, eating Jean Robert and blindsiding James with 2 idols. And it was a very, very good season to watch, and it missed out on the top spot by only one, but honestly, it's one of the best Survivor seasons, and it'll probably stay that way for a long time. So, all Survivor seasons that I've seen, seasons 1 to 22, ranked from worst to best, in my opinion, are Thailand, Redemption Island, Samoa, Fiji, Nicaragua, Vanuatu, All Stars, the Amazon, Guatemala, Marquesas, Gabon, Tocantins, Africa, Borneo, the Australian Outback, Pearl Islands, Micronesia, Panama, Palau, Cook Islands, China, and Heroes versus Villains. I apologize for my bland monotone the entire time. That's just the way I talk. And like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.